Everybody needs a writing exercise, and today we are going to be looking at a fun and creative way to generate new ideas and explore different genres and styles. So writing prompts are short, thought-provoking phrases or scenarios that will give you a starting point for story or scenes. We're going to do a real-time example, but prompts are really incredible things that you can create on the spot or you can take from something to get you going. We will also look at prompts in a way that aren't necessarily like, hey, this is the story you should be telling, but ways to create prompts for the story you are telling. All right. So, how to use writing prompts to spark creative story ideas. But, Thomas, how do I use writing prompts effectively? That's a great question. Pick a prompt that inspires you. Now, first and foremost, the first step is choosing a writing prompt that catches your interest. Now, this is if you're searching for one that is not necessarily dictating your story, but you're like, I don't know where to begin. And then I'm going to go over something that could help you and your story. So the first step is choosing one that says to you, this is something I can connect to emotionally. And the prompts can be anything from a simple phrase like the door swung open, revealing dun dun dun, to more elaborate scenarios like you wake up one morning to discover that everyone else in the world has vanished. The key is sorry. The key is to find a prompt that makes you want to write, one that inspires you. If the prompt doesn't really spark something in you, throw it out and try another one. But don't overthink it. You got to trust your gut and go with it. Now, I'm going to add a little caveat to this. All right. Sometimes we want to get out of the writer's block and be like, yo, I have an idea, but I don't have an idea. How do I get here? So a lot of times, what you can do to create a prompt that ignites your story is if you're starting from blank, okay, write down a word, just any word that comes to your mind. So if it's car, write down car. And all you do is start qualifying each word thereafter. For example, if we're going to do it on the screen, and I will. All right. Oh, can't see my face, but that's okay. I got nothing. I'm blank. I write car. Great. Now I have to qualify that car. Is it a big car, a small car, big car? All right. Now my job is to start thinking about that car. You know, it's a Range Rover. I think that's one word. All right. Now we know it's a Range Rover. I think that's actually capitalized. Range Rover. Right? Range Rover. Oh, it is two words. It is two words, but they are capitalized. All right. So it's a Range Rover. And the idea of this is to now, this might not spark anything. It's a Range Rover. It doesn't get there. So we jump to another phrase, right? Maybe this isn't sparking you. So the idea is that you're trying to find something that prompts you, even though you're blank. And it's just about thinking the first word, I'm blank, and can't think of anything. And then if this sparks something, like for now, it definitely sparking something for me. I'm blank and I can't think of anything. Even the air in the room feels absent. But the darkness is not helping me either. Where can I? Where am I? What am I doing? Then you might say, but Thomas, I'm writing a third person. So now that I wrote this, I can turn it into third person. I'm blanking it. All right, in the darkness. Or you could say, he was blank and couldn't think of anything. Even the air in the room felt absent. but the darkness is not helping him either. Where am I? What am I doing? His mind erased. His mind erased. His breath loud in the quiet. All right. So anyway, so as you can see, I just found something that sparked me. And then you might say, well, Thomas, I want to write an epic fantasy. Well, so far we're in epic fantasy. Yeah, but this sounds like it's a thriller or they're trapped in something. So that's great. I can't think of anything for my epic fantasy. Where do I begin? Maybe I could. And now this is just getting me to think. Maybe I could start with a family of 5, 2 boys, a girl with 2 mothers. They've grown up in this area, after the husband of one of them left for a war. And the Polly family has been keeping themselves going as they wait for their beloved husband to return. All right, so this is just an idea, but it just came to me, right? And I can't think of anything for an epic. Where do I begin? Maybe I could, and it's just ideas. So sometimes your prompts need to come from you, and sometimes your prompts have to walk you through the thought process. It took me 2 sentences to inspire me to write this idea out. This, I wasn't feeling big car. It's a Range Rover. I wasn't feeling that. This got me going. I'm blank. I can't think of anything. I started feeling isolated, and that isolation, even the air in the room feels absent, but the darkness is not helping me either. Where am I? What am I doing? Then I was like, well, what does it look like in third person? And then I just changed it. And then, of course, the new prompt is, well, I'm writing epic fantasy, so I don't know if I want to do this kind of thriller thing. So sometimes we have to find prompts through the discovery, but writing the ideas and the thoughts, even the I can't think of anything for my fantasy. Writing is part of the prompt. It gets you thinking, it gets you flowing, it allows your brain to think beyond certain things. All right, so let's keep going. 2. Set a timer and allow the free writing to write. Okay, we've done this before, especially one of my other videos. We set it for 5 minutes, whatever. You could set it for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 45, an hour, 2 hours, whatever you want. I recommend doing blocks, though, like, maybe 30 to an hour. And then once the 30 minutes to an hour is over, take a break, then come back and write for another. Because as you know, especially if you're familiar with my channel, I have a 2-hour block, and within that 2-hour block of writing every single day, I will write no less than an hour and no more than 2 hours. However, I'm okay only writing for 90 minutes. But that block is dedicated to sitting down for a minimum of an hour, and even if it's brainstorming or cleaning up notes or editing, whatever, that is my writing hour. And I allow it to be used for creative endeavors for the books. In this situation, when it comes to the prompting, the exercise itself isn't necessarily to write a novel, but it is to teach you how to break the blank page, how to break through that writer's block and create movement. And if you give yourself 15, 30 minutes, that's why it would be beneficial with this exercise. Because, if you can't think of anything in 30 minutes, you're not doing the exercise. And what that means is, again, I just started writing down my thoughts. I can't think of anything for my epic fantasy. And I'm typing that. It's the typing, everything. Tom is even if it was look, even if we went like this, right? Let's say we went all right. Let me get me on the screen. Let me get me on the screen just so you can see. Even if I went to be a facetious, Tom has said that I have to write down every thought I'm having as I work through the idea for finding my voice or getting me to write. Oh my God. He's right. I just wrote down something, and something is better than nothing. Right? This is writing. This is prompting yourself. It's getting yourself moving. Of course, this could turn into something, and I'm obviously writing it as a silly joke, but in a sense, it is also being honest with the situation. All right, let's get to. All right, but anyway, so again, let's keep talking about setting a timer. The goal is not to create a perfect piece either. You're not. Don't even worry if it looks good. Don't worry about spelling, whatever the case may be. It's all about just letting words come out of you, whether they are your thoughts as you're thinking, just write them down, or if they're ideas that you're playing with. It can be as simple as somebody is in a room, two people in a room. It could be whatever. It could be ideas. It could be brainstorming. You're not trying to write perfect prose or prose at all. However, you can write prose. It is all about just getting your brain to function in a way that allows you to write when it is your time to write. When I became a professional writer and I was writing screenplays, uh, if they hand me money, I can't say I have to wait until I'm inspired. I can't say, I know you gave me a deadline, but every time I sit down in front of that screen, it's a blank screen page. And it's the same thing for novels. If someone says, look, I need the book in 2 weeks, obviously I have to know what my writing strength is. And it can't be, I can't write unless I'm inspired. But if I know I can write, let's say on average, all right, on average, if I'm writing fluidly, I could do anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 words in a writing session. Okay. But that's a 2 hour session. So if I only give writer clients an hour a day, I know it's half that. So it's anywhere from 500 to 1,500 words. So if they go, look, I need a chapter by the end of the week. Well, if a chapter's 3,000 words on average, well, I know it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I can do that. I could do a chapter a week. All right. At minimum. Okay. But if they're like, I need 5 chapters in a week, that might be a little hard. And I have to be like, that's going to be a little difficult. However, if you need it as a deadline, then I know I'm going to have to do at least 2 hours a day. And now I'm writing, a little bit more. Okay. That is the power of knowing how you're going to write. But also, when you're being hired to write a book or a screenplay, there's deadlines, there's all these other things. You have to be able to sit down and write. Somebody once said to me, how do you make money writing? Like, don't you have to be inspired? I go, they pay me to be inspired. Like, it's my job to find and hone the skill of being inspired. Well, otherwise, they're not going to pay me. In Hollywood and all that stuff, like you can't be like, listen, I know you're looking for these pages, but art is like, it's a process. And it was like, look, I get it. I get it. All right. You want to experiment with different genres and styles as well. One of the great things about writing prompts is that it gives you a chance and the freedom to experiment, because it's not going into a novel, it's not going into your permanent catalog of books. It's just something that allows you to kind of shake things up and give your brain some twisting and turning and a chance to explore, because this could also help the way you approach your genre and styles. All right. So when you feel blank, or even when you're doing this exercise, allow yourself to say, all right, you know what? I write mostly epic fantasy. Let me try something else. That's why a lot of times when you see my examples, they will be epic fantasy, but you'll see me slip into thrillers. I do a lot of romance moments, especially like some of the outlining videos I do. It's romance, it's noir. I did action. It's because it's exercise for me. So I'm not gonna do a lot of exercise on something that I do often. You know what I'm saying? And this is an example with this exercise. Allow yourself to practice different genres and styles. All right. For example, if you do write a lot of fantasy, maybe try sci-fi, a romance, or a horror. The thing is, you get to play with it. You get to try things because it's just exercise. Okay. Once you've done all that, the real truth is reflect on what you've written. All right. After you've finished your free writing, take some time to reflect on what you've written. What worked well? Where did you have the difficulty? What surprised you? Where were you like, wow, I really found my groove here? Were there any elements that you'd like to develop further where you like, I struggled with this, but I really like the idea and the potential of it? All right. This reflection phase is where you start to turn raw ideas into something more polished, where you start turning raw skill into something that is strong and at your beck and call. You might find that a scene or a character you've written really connects with you, or an idea is like, wow, I never thought horror was something I enjoy. Wow, how did horror really like float out of me? I got these ideas and it just boom. Or maybe you did write fantasy and you're like, not only did I feel something, like I really enjoyed I enjoyed writing the banter in the scene. I really enjoyed writing a meet cute. I really enjoyed showing a little romance, or I didn't think I would like to show not too X-rated, but I liked seeing them being physical. I liked them being intimate and not necessarily sexual, but wow, I didn't think the way I described the kiss would be something I'd be into, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know. The same thing with epic fantasy. Like, wow, the way I described magic really, it really came out of me, and I feel strong with that. All right. So those are four things. Those are four things you should definitely think about, which will bring us to the final thoughts. Four things you think about with this exercise. All right. And again, real quick, it's you're going to pick a prompt that inspires you. Either you're going to find a prompt online, or you're just going to allow the thought process of free thinking to move you through it. Write down literally what you're saying and thinking, even if it's I'm looking at a blank screen and Thomas said I should do something with this, but I don't even know where to start. What do I do? And just keep writing your thoughts until something clicks, or until you see something in your head, or an idea pops up, because writing creates writing. All right. Definitely set a timer for the free writing, 15 to 30 minutes. The exercise doesn't have to last long. You don't want to burn yourself out. And you know what? Maybe the first couple times you do it, you won't be able to get anything out, and that's okay, because getting getting the consistency down, sitting down and doing the 15 to 30 minutes a day is part of the exercise. Learning how to create a rhythm and a habit is part of this exercise. And of course, you definitely want to experiment with different genres and styles. I always recommend starting with what you know and then moving to a subsection of it. So if you write epic fantasy, try epic horror fantasy, try epic romantic fantasy, because then you can still play with the part you're comfortable with. And then you could slowly move away from that. So if you're doing epic horror fantasy, now you could do horror. You know what I'm saying? You could even do horror fantasy. Like mix things together. It's all an exercise, is all play. And then, of course, always reflect on the work you've done, look over it, study what works and what doesn't work. With that said, prompts have always been a fantastic way to prompt literally ideas. It's about sparking creativity and pushing you to create the habits that allow you to do this not only professionally but for your own works. That leads to a consistent habit of writing every day. And by the way, writing every day doesn't necessarily mean I have to write 1,000 words or 4,000 words a day. It just means that I sit down every day at the same time, if possible. If possible, you can change up the time, but every day, and you brainstorm, you think, you clean things up, you write, you edit. It does not mean you have to write. Like, if you, oh, well, I've been editing, so I'm not writing anymore. No, you are writing. Okay. It's that time block that is your writing block. That means that anything that has to do with writing, be it exercising, practicing, going over your stuff, reading your stuff, notating stuff, that all counts as your writing. And that counts as every day. And you just want to put your brain in that mindset. All right. Next video in the series, collaboration exercise. This video will focus on the benefits of collaboration and working with other writers to improve your craft. Yeah, the exercise will involve working with another writer. Woo, woo, woo. To create a short story or scene and analyzing the process and results. Let's see how that goes. All right. That's going to start our 2026. Well, it's not going to start it, but it will be in the 2026 era. Anyway, question. What's one genre or style you haven't tried yet that you'd like to explore using this writing prop exercise as a way to go, you know what? Let's see where it goes. Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. Now, more importantly, today is December 26, 2025. Christmas just passed. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, wonderful Hanukkah, Super Kwanzaa, anything you celebrate. But more importantly, go into this new year with an open mind and allow your potential to shine through small steps, because little movement creates big advancement. You have the potential if you allow yourself the chance to try. And remember, it's about failing to succeed. You can't learn unless you fall. And I recommend that you fall a little bit. Learn to fail. Try things that you are uncomfortable with when it comes to your writing career. And most importantly, know that failure is not failure. Failure is part of the process. And I believe in you, and I wish you a wonderful, happy, glorious new year into the future of 2026. So I really hope to continue this journey together. And, let me know how it goes. Keep in touch. Tell me in the comments. Talk in the community. Reach out on the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitters, or whatever. Anything you want. Say hi. I want to hear your journey because I care about it. That is the reason I do these videos, is because I want free avenues for people to learn as much as they can. All right. With that said, I'm out. I'm gone. I'll see you in 2026. Keep developing the right mindset. Bye.